You feel it stirring inside you. That restless energy that won't let you settle anymore. That quiet but powerful nudge towards spiritual awakening, higher consciousness becoming one of the chosen ones on a path that feels both mysterious and deeply personal. But before you get too comfortable with the idea that this awakening is a gift, there's a hidden trap you must know about. The trap that can make you question everything, leave you lost, or worse, stuck in a cycle of spiritual burnout. Most people imagine awakening as a smooth journey, a rising light, a feeling of peace, a gradual unfolding of wisdom. But the truth is far more complicated. Spiritual awakening is a powerful force that shakes the very foundations of your life, your identity, and your worldview. It brings upheaval, chaos, and confusion disguised as growth. If you're not prepared for that, the awakening can feel like a prison instead of a key. Today, you're about to discover that trap, the silent struggle no one warns you about. You'll learn how to recognize it, how to avoid its pitfalls, and most importantly, how to move beyond it into true transformation. Because the awakening isn't just a phase, it's a doorway, and only those who step through it with awareness will find freedom on the other side. When awakening first knocks, it doesn't come wrapped in glitter or sunshine. It arrives as restlessness, a nagging feeling that something's wrong, or more accurately, something's missing. Suddenly, the familiar life you built feels hollow. The job that once gave you purpose now feels like a cage. The people you loved suddenly seem distant or draining. This feeling is the awakening's first gift and its first test. It forces you to look at everything you've been comfortable with, your routines, your beliefs, your attachments, and ask the hardest question of all. Is this who I really am? It's an uncomfortable question, because for many years, you might have built your identity on external things. Success, relationships, status, even your habits and stories. Awakening strips those layers away. It forces you to confront the parts of yourself you ignored or buried, the doubts, fears, insecurities, and pain. Here's the trap. That confrontation can feel like falling into a bottomless pit. Instead of feeling lighter and freer, you feel heavier, confused, and isolated. The people around you might not understand this inner storm. They might tell you to snap out of it or just be positive. But you know this isn't about being happy or sad. It's about facing something far deeper. Now, here's where the journey often gets tricky. Many who are awakening fall into what's called spiritual bypassing. That's a fancy way of saying they try to avoid the hard parts of awakening by pretending everything is fine. They put on a mask of positivity, meditating and chanting, but never looking directly at their pain. But avoidance only deepens the trap. Imagine trying to clean a dirty wound by covering it with a Band-Aid. The wound might seem hidden, but it's still there, festering underneath. The truth is, spiritual awakening requires radical honesty with yourself. You have to be willing to sit with discomfort, to feel your pain fully, and to ask hard questions without rushing for answers. And yes, this process is exhausting. There will be days when you want to quit, when the chaos inside feels unbearable. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the moments where real growth happens. Think of it like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. The transformation isn't pretty. The caterpillar has to dissolve almost completely inside the cocoon before emerging as something new. Awakening is your spiritual cocoon. Messy, dark, and isolating. But it's also where the real magic happens. The key is learning how to navigate this darkness without losing yourself. One way is by grounding yourself in small daily practices. It could be journaling your feelings without judgment, moving your body in ways that feel good, or simply sitting in silence and watching your thoughts like clouds passing by. These practices act like an anchor during the storm. They remind you that no matter how chaotic your mind feels, you are still here, still present, still alive, still moving forward. Here's something else no one tells you. Spiritual awakening can make you feel incredibly lonely. When you start seeing the world differently, you might find yourself drifting away from old friends or family who don't understand your journey. This loneliness is part of the trap too. It makes you doubt your own experience. You start to wonder if you're losing your mind or if something is wrong with you. But loneliness doesn't mean you are truly alone. It means you're in a phase of deep inner work, where the outer world doesn't reflect your new inner reality. This is why community matters more than ever. Finding others who are on a similar path can provide the support and understanding you need, whether it's online groups, local meetups, or even a trusted mentor. Connecting with others reminds you that your awakening is real and shared. The awakening also flips your understanding of control upside down. In the beginning, you might try to force progress, chasing spiritual milestones, trying to level up your consciousness like it's a game. But here's the paradox. True awakening happens when you stop trying to control it. When you accept that growth is not linear, that setbacks are part of the process, and that some days you won't understand what's happening. You open the door to genuine transformation. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting the process, even when it feels messy or uncertain. This is where many get stuck, because letting go feels like surrender, and surrender feels like failure. But in reality, surrender is strength. It's the courage to be vulnerable, to face the unknown, and to embrace your true self without filters. As your awakening deepens, you may notice old habits and attachments falling away. This can be terrifying and liberating at the same time. You might lose interest in things that once defined you. The job, the lifestyle, even relationships. This loss can feel like grief, and it is. You're mourning the old version of yourself. But within this grief is a hidden gift, space. Space to create a new life that aligns with your deeper truth. It's important to honor this grief rather than rush through it. Give yourself permission to feel sad, confused, or even scared. These emotions are signs you're shedding your old skin. Now, imagine breaking free from the trap. Imagine no longer being paralyzed by confusion or overwhelmed by chaos. Imagine moving forward with clarity, confidence, and inner peace. This isn't some far-off dream. It's possible for you right now. The secret is simple but powerful. Integrate. Integration means bringing together all parts of yourself, the light and the shadow, the old and the new, into a whole, authentic being. Instead of rejecting your past or pretending you're perfect, you accept every piece of your story. Integration turns spiritual awakening from a roller coaster of highs and lows into a steady path of growth. And when you integrate, you find yourself naturally stepping into your purpose, your power, and your unique contribution to the world. So how do you start integrating today? Begin with self-compassion. Speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend, with kindness, patience, and understanding. Notice when you judge yourself for feeling lost or scared, and gently remind yourself that this is part of the process. Create space each day for honest reflection. Ask yourself questions like, what am I really feeling? What do I need right now? How can I honor this part of me? Seek support from trusted sources, books, mentors, or communities that resonate with your experience. And remember, the journey of awakening isn't about perfection or rushing. It's about showing up every day and choosing to grow, even when it's hard. Now, let me share something personal. When I first started my own spiritual awakening, I thought I was going crazy. The inner chaos felt unbearable. I tried to push it away with positive thinking and distraction, but it only got worse. It wasn't until I allowed myself to feel the pain, to sit with the confusion and uncertainty, that the storm began to settle. I found that the more I accepted my experience without judgment, the clearer my path became. That clarity didn't come from outside sources or magical answers. It came from within, from learning to trust myself again. And that's what I want for you. To trust yourself through this awakening, no matter how hard it feels. Remember, the spiritual awakening trap is real, but it's not a dead end. It's a doorway to deeper self-awareness, true freedom, and authentic living. You don't have to navigate it alone. You can break free with awareness, support, and daily practice. If you take one thing away from this video, let it be this. Your awakening is not a problem to fix. It's a process to honor. Lean into your experience. Trust your journey. And know that on the other side of the trap is a version of you waiting to shine brighter than ever. If this message touched your heart or helped you see your awakening in a new light, thank you for staying with me until the end. Please like and subscribe so we can keep walking this path together, sharing wisdom, clarity, and strength for the journey ahead. You're not alone, and your awakening matters.